The Stocks and Shares ISA is probably the most powerful type of investing account that we have here in the UK, but very few people know all of the details. So here's everything you need to know, including the latest changes which have just been made as of the 2024 tax year. Firstly, to open a Stocks and Shares ISA, you need to meet these two requirements here. Be 18 years or older and be a resident in the UK. There is a junior Stocks and Shares ISA too, which you can open for your kids, but I've done another video on that topic altogether. Now, why would you bother opening one, and what is the point of them? Well, think of it like this. The ISA is like one big bucket. Imagine one of those orange ones that you get from B&Q every time you do something to your house. Any money you put into this bucket in a Stocks and Shares ISA is protected from taxes. It's what's called a tax wrapper. This means that any money you make, say you make £50,000 from your investments in a few years' time, you will have no taxes to pay on that. There's no capital gains tax to pay or no dividends taxes to pay at all too. This is so useful when you can imagine what investing would be like if you didn't use an account like this. And this is why it's a no-brainer to make sure that you use one when you invest. Also, there's no limit to what they can grow to. You can have an unlimited amount of investments inside your ISA if you happen to make the right investments or you've just been investing for a very, very long time. For example, there are now a growing number of ISA millionaires here in the UK. Firstly, because they've been investing since ISAs began and before they were even called ISAs, and also because some of the things they've invested in have just gone up so much. So let's just say that inside your nice Stocks and Shares ISA account, you invest in a low-cost index fund that invests in the whole global stock market. If you had started investing 20 years ago and put in £200 a month every month without fail, your investing account would look something like this. £91,351 if we assume you got a 6% return on average per year, which, funny enough, is the real level of return you would have got even if we take inflation into account. Now, if you really wanted to, you could take that £91,000 and withdraw it all in one go, and there will be no tax to pay whatsoever. Or you could take smaller amounts and leave the rest invested. It would be completely up to you. The benefit, I hope, is clear, especially if you compare that to making the same amount in a job. If you made £91,000 as a salary today, your paycheck would look something like this. Your take-home pay would be just over £63,000, meaning that the rest of your salary has ended up with the taxman split between income tax and national insurance. You would keep just under 70% of your income and have to pay the rest in tax. With an ISA, you don't have to worry about any of that, and none of it will ever count as income or be taxable. Now, there are rules though, and like I said at the beginning, these rules are different from the previous year, so let me firstly explain those. Firstly, there is a limit to what you can put in, and the total amount of new money you can put in per tax year is £20,000. This £20,000 is the total amount that you can use across all of your different ISA accounts, not just your Stocks and Shares ISA. So do be careful not to put in too much money if you're already using a cash ISA and a lifetime ISA in the same year, for example. Make sure that the total amount you put in does not exceed £20,000. If it helps, imagine that each different kind of ISA account is also its own little mini orange bucket inside this huge big orange bucket that we were using before as our example. Just hopefully that helps. And you just add up all of the money that you put into these little buckets, and that will also add up to this big counter at the bottom telling you how much money you've put in. Anyway, I hope that helps. All you need to do is make sure that each tax year you do not exceed the limit, which is currently £20,000. But bear in mind, in future years, you'd have to check and see if that limit's been changed. Bear in mind also that a lifetime ISA is one of the only exceptions here. This is limited to £4,000 and you can only open one of these accounts. Now, here's where things get interesting from the changes that have taken place from April the 6th, 2024. Firstly, you are no longer limited to using just one Stocks and Shares ISA account per tax year. In the previous years, you had to choose one Stocks and Shares ISA provider and then stick with them for a whole year before you could open a new one. Now, you can open as many Stocks and Shares ISA accounts as you like. You can see on screen a screenshot from the government website taken in February 2024 referencing the old rules. The new rules came into place this tax year from the 6th of April 2024, and these changes were outlined by the Chancellor in the autumn statement last year. The limits still apply, so just make sure that you don't put in more than £20,000 if you open 3 or 4 accounts though. This part is still down to you to follow. Secondly, a big change is now that partial transfers of ISAs in the same tax year are now permitted. But very importantly, this is not mandatory for the providers to do. What this means, for example, is that say if you want to start an ISA with one company and put in £5,000 and then 2 months later in the same tax year you want to transfer that £5,000 to a new platform, You then continue to invest with another £3,000 on the new platform. The old provider has to report to HMRC that you've used £5,000 of your ISA allowance, and the new provider would have to also report to HMRC that you've used £3,000. Before, this was not possible to do in the same tax year because you could only have one account, but as I said earlier, you would need to confirm if this is possible with the platforms that you're using because it's not mandatory. Either way, you still have to stick to the rules and not exceed £20,000 of new money going in. Just on that topic of moving money around, if you do take money out of your ISA for any reason, you might lose that allowance for the tax year. For example, let's say that you've used up your £20,000 allowance, but you now want to use £5,000 and take it out. Once you've taken that money out, you won't be able to put the money back in or replace it with another £5,000 in the same tax year. However, there is one caveat here where this is possible, and it will depend on what provider you are using. If you do want to be able to take money in and out without having issues, you will need to look for what is called a flexible ISA. Now, not every provider offers a flexible ISA, so please make sure you check this before opening an account if you know that you're going to be taking a lot of money in and out potentially. As usual, it's up for you to make sure that you don't break the rules, as there's no magic system in place to stop this from happening. So just keep a note of everything you put in and what you've taken out too, especially if the ISA is not a flexible one. Finally, on the changes, this one's a bit of a technical one that probably won't affect most people, but you won't need to apply for a new ISA if you hadn't put money into an old account from a previous tax year. An application is really just a technicality and is often just a quick tick box with some terms and conditions, but this will now no longer be something that you have to do. So this is just one less step for the providers to worry about and one less step for you to worry about as well. Now, what can you actually invest in with a stocks and shares ISA? Well, as the name suggests, you're going to be choosing investments in the stock market. And depending on your provider, you will have loads to choose from. You also don't have to invest in everything straight away. You can put cash into your stocks and shares ISA account and invest it whenever you want. Or you can even deposit money regularly. In fact, this is something I do, and I just put money in every single month, and I have most of my investments automatically placed. Everything really is up to you to do, and I've got loads of videos on my channel designed to help you get that started and choose what to invest in. With that said, when your money is invested inside a stocks and shares ISA, you will see it go up and down in value, and if you choose a bad investment, you can even lose money, so please do be really careful with this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor and your capital is always at risk when you are investing. Generally, if you use a really good platform, you can have all the options to choose from, which could be UK stocks, US stocks, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, and all kinds of everything in between. Now, not everything is allowed inside a stocks and shares ISA, and you certainly can't put in something like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, nor can you put in investments which don't have UK reporting status. However, your provider and the platform you use will make it very clear what you can invest in and what is not allowed. In short though, you can put in pretty much any company stock from an authorised stock exchange and almost any ETF or mutual fund as long as it's regulated. I have mostly low-cost index funds and also some individual stocks across my accounts, and that's more than I'm ever going to need, to be honest. So the big final questions are these. Firstly, if you haven't opened a stocks and shares ISA account this year yet, what are you doing? And then secondly, if you're not sure what provider or platform to choose, you are in luck, because I have made a complete guide for you here. And in this next video, I look at some of the best providers and give you a complete rundown of the best stocks and shares ISA providers for 2024. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy investing.